fame is not gonna heal the wound. If you have been neglected, abused as a child, the work needs to be done somewhere else. Receiving love from the public is good, but when you are alone in your bed at night in the dark, you realize that, okay, I have all this, I have all that money, I receive all that love, I don't have my privacy anymore and everything. I still feel empty. And so you have to look for the way to heal, because what you got being famous is not enough. I have learned about the story of many famous people, and I've noticed that it's usually you're gonna find the same past, the same stories, the same things that happen to the person. And so I wanted to talk about the reasons why people want to be famous, and maybe the reasons why they are famous today. And if you want to be famous, a celebrity or whatever, you should ask yourself and check if you have the same signs than those people. Hi, my name is Amina. I'm a life coach, and I'm here to give you some tips, offer a different perspective, and answer some questions you might have. So if you have questions or video suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you like what I do here, please subscribe, like, and share, and help me spread the word. So today I want to talk about the reasons why some people want to be famous, and I would say the majority of people who are famous probably have the same characteristic. So number one is we see abused in childhood. So I've checked, I like to know about the stories of successful people. So it can be all kinds of successful people, whether it's business people or singers or athletes or dancers or actors, anything. And so every time I see somebody, I usually go to their Wikipedia, and even that I'm not sure if I can trust that much anymore. But yeah, I try to read all kinds of sources to learn about the story of a person. And something that I've noticed is a lot of those people have had childhood abuse, and I'm not talking about the sexual one for now, but physical, physical abuse or mental abuse, emotional abuse, all kinds of that kind of things. And so those children, those people, when they were children, they had very difficult parents, sometimes narcissistic parents. And even when I'm saying that this famous people, they are famous today because of that, it can be because when they were abused as a child, when they grew up, they believed that becoming famous, being this amazing singer loved by everybody, would heal the wound. Or they became famous because of their story. They didn't want this to happen to anybody again. So it could be one of those reasons, and maybe something else. So if you have other ideas, please leave them in the comment section below. But yes, usually you're gonna see that. So they were abused as children, and so growing up, for them to heal the wound, and it could be conscious or unconscious, and when they grew up, they fought to be where they are, and all of a sudden when they become famous, now they realize that, oh, I thought this would bring me happiness, but actually no. And I don't really want to talk about people's names, but I remember what's his name, Will Smith, and I'm talking about his situation because you can find a series he had when he was writing his book, and so he talked about the childhood abuse from his father. And so yeah, And when you check the story of many famous people, actors, singers, you're gonna find it. So I'm not gonna give other examples because it's, yeah, that's not the point. So another reason is, so some children were overlooked, and so when they grew up, now becoming famous, being seen was now a priority. And so I would say children that were overlooked, so people that were overlooked as children, so people that were neglected and overlooked and neglected. And so because they didn't have their parents around, or the parents were there, or some parents, in some situations both parents died. One parent died, the other one had to work all the time, and so nobody could take care of that child and their and the siblings. And so because I grew up that way, in my situation, I had my mom who worked all the time, and so nobody could really watch us. You can feel that you don't matter, and you don't receive enough love. And so when you grow up, I heard a psychologist saying that usually people who want to be singers, it's because they are looking for love, actually. And when she said that in the beginning, I was wondering if that was true, but now with retrospect I realized that she was right. And because when you are neglected, nobody pays attention to you. But when you become famous, when you become a singer and everybody loves you, they give you love. Of course you're gonna have some haters, of course, but most people will love you and you're gonna receive lots of love. But the problem is, if you take the case of, for example, Michael Jackson, now you're famous, now you have all these people loving you, but now you don't have any privacy. Now yes, millions of people love you, but you can't go anywhere and be okay. And also the emptiness will still be there, because those people will love you, they will scream your name everywhere, but you're gonna realize that, it's not actually healing the wounds. And just like the situation with the abuse, the childhood abuse, it's the same thing. It doesn't heal, it doesn't help you heal. And so in those situations, it's better you go see a therapist and you do your work to heal the wounds. So reason number 3 is parents that were mean or hard on their children. So let's say famous people that had mean parents, or parents that were really hard on themselves, on them. And recently I didn't read the book, but I've listened to a show, and that was talking about the book and the highlights of the book. And one of the highlights of Britney Spears' book was that her father was really mean. He was really tough on her, and so that's one. I believe that's one of the reasons why she became famous, because when you have when you have a big personality, and then even if your parents are really mean or never satisfied, you want to prove them wrong. So it could be that, or it could be the situation where you want to win their love, and every time they say, okay, this is not enough, so you're gonna strive to satisfy them. You're gonna work hard so that one day they can say, I am proud of you. So it could be that. So it could be both. So either your parents are really tough on you, really hard on you, and you're working really hard to prove them wrong, or they're really hard on you, but you're working really hard to gain their love and to make them proud of you. And so in the case of Britney Spears, I don't know exactly which situation it would be, But yeah, I tend to believe that it would be that she wanted to prove her father wrong, but don't quote me on that. That's just my guess. And so yes, in those situations, the children, because they're working really hard, because they want the parents to be proud, or they want to prove the parents wrong, so they tend to succeed and then they become famous. But at some point, even when the parent says, oh, I was proud of you all along, it's just that I was really tough because I wanted to make sure you don't settle. And the child, at some point, the child, she or he, she can lose the drive and then realize that, oh, I was doing all that because I wanted my father to say that he was proud of me. And so that's one situation where you have people being famous, because of the way they were treated as children. So before we get to the next point, I wanted to remind you that I have a one-on-one coaching service. So if you're interested in working with me, you can reach out using the link in the description box, and we'll see how we make things happen. I also have a blog where I talk about the same kinds of subjects. So if you like reading, you can give it a try. Thanks in advance. So my next point is, some people are famous today because of their parents' agenda. So the child wasn't interested in being famous. The child didn't care. But then you had the parents, one of the parents, maybe both of them, they saw potential in the child, and then they pushed the child. Oh, you need to do this. You can see that in sports a lot of time. I heard I watched a video where somebody that used to work in university was saying that, a counselor in university, he was saying that he has seen lots of children, lots of students. They didn't want to be athletes, but because their parents kept pushing, they just went along, and they were injured, and they were not happy about that. They were not happy in their lives, and the parents never seen that. The parents never saw that, and so the child was miserable because of that. So you have some parents, they can push you until you become famous, and we have seen many cases. So I cannot really give names here, that's not the point. But yes, you have some parents, they see a potential, they see a story, they see something their child has, and that can make the child famous, and so they push the child, and they do everything, PR, communication, going to see their friends here and there, asking questions, going on shows, trying talents, what's the name, things like I won't say The Voice, but like the kids version of The Voice. And I'm not saying that every child over there is pushed by their parents, by the parents, but I'm sure some of them are. Yes. And the last reasons people want to be famous is they haven't received enough love. And so we can put that in the category of I was saying the last point, but I just thought about something else, so I'm gonna add that one. And so they haven't received enough love, and so when they grew up, it's a little bit like being neglected. But in this case, the neglected child didn't have anybody around to count on or to be protected by. But in this case, they haven't received enough love. So that's maybe a child that needs lots of attention, lots of love, and the parents didn't have the time to do that. If that child grew up with a single parent, and the parents needed to work, and then when the parents was home, the parents could spend time with the child, but not as much as the child would have wanted or needed. And so in this case as well, the child will strive to be famous, to have an audience and everything, and then hope to receive the love from the audience, but then realize that, oh, it's not the same thing. So the wound is somewhere else, and I need to take care of it. And my last point is one of the reasons people want to be famous is to escape poverty. And so for that one, I've heard many rappers talking about that. Like, I wanted to buy my mom a house. So that's something that is very, very popular among rappers. So they want their mother, their single mother, to be very proud of them, and we are very proud of them. And so they work really hard. They want to be noticed. They do everything to be the next big star in a rap or whatever, something else, and then they become famous. And once they famous, now they can buy the mom a house and everything, but that the emptiness is still there. So yes, so escaping poverty when you grow up in some parts of the town, difficult neighborhood, where life is not easy, where there is a lot of violence, people being killed and everything. So some people work really hard and they become athletes, or they become famous singers or rappers, and now they can leave the neighborhood and now build a different life, and now think about the future and escape the hood mentality, for example, and that's just one example. Or maybe the person, the person didn't suffer when the person was a child, and then at some point they just saw somebody on TV and, oh, I want to have that, I want to be like that, and worked really hard and get there. But still, fame is not gonna heal the wound. If you have been neglected, abused as a child, the work needs to be done somewhere else. Receiving love from the public is good, but when you are alone in your bed at night in the dark, you realize that, okay, I have all this, I have all that money, I receive all that love, I don't have my privacy anymore and everything. I still feel empty. And so you have to look for the way to heal, because what you got being famous is not enough. So as a recap, reasons why people want to be famous. Number one is the person was abused, physically abused or emotionally abused as a child. Reason number two, the person was neglected or overlooked as a child. Reason number three, the parents were really hard on the child. Reason number four, it was because the parents had an agenda to push the child to become famous. Reason number five, the child didn't receive enough love. And reason number six, the child wanted to escape poverty. And even one example that I'm thinking about is Tony Robbins. So you can find it on his program called Personal Power. And so in the beginning, I believe, and even throughout the program, the 30 days program, you're gonna find he talks about that. Like, he was really not happy with poverty, and he was willing to do anything possible to get out of it. Of course, anything legal, and anything that wouldn't hurt anybody else, of course. Okay, so my challenge for you today, so if you want to be famous, look for the reasons that could drive you to that decision. So if you don't recognize yourself in any of the points that I just gave, great for you, keep going. But if you find one of them you will need to start doing the work, because yes, you can keep striving to become famous and everything, but don't forget to do the healing work, because once you get there, you're gonna realize that, oh, it's not bringing me what I wanted. Okay, so please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you like what I do here. And if you have questions or video suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. My question for you today is, do you have other reasons? Do you even know famous people? And if if the person has told you their story, what was the reason? So that's it for today. I hope this video helps. Until next time, I wish you a good week, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching.